What it do, Nutsack crew? It's Nutsack here, and today we're gonna be making a new video, and we're gonna be looking at the top 5 best UFC fighters in each division of all time. So basically, we're gonna be going through each of the divisions of the UFC and looking at each top 5 fighter in that division for all time. So, without further ado, starting with the Flyweight division. At number 5, we got Brandon Moreno. 4, Alexander Pantoja. 3, Henry Cejudo. 2, Davison Figueiredo. And 1, Demetrious Johnson. Demetrious Johnson at 1 shouldn't really be a surprise to anybody, but Davison Figueiredo at 2 might. It shouldn't be a hot take in my opinion. It shouldn't, but it might be for some people. So I'm just gonna say Davison Figueiredo has probably the second greatest flyweight resume of all time, right after DJ, maybe even better than DJ. Obviously DJ is still number 1, but Davison Figueiredo is definitely number 2 in my opinion. Henry Cejudo is number 3 because although Henry Cejudo did have a great career, he did a lot of it at Bantamweight, or not a lot of it, but most of his best wins were at Bantamweight, even though I do think he's overrated. So, and then I had to put Pantoja over Moreno just because Pantoja's beaten him and Pantoja was able to defend that belt. Pained me to do that because Moreno's one of my favorite fighters, but hey man, it is what it is. Coming in at Bantamweight, number 5, Henry Cejudo. Number 4, TJ Dillashaw. Number 3, Aljo. 2, Peter Yan, and 1, Dominic Cruz. Now I know you're gonna be thinking Peter Yan at number 2 is kind of a crazy take, but if you look at Peter Yan's resume on paper, if you count the Aljamain Sterling, the first one, as a win, which I do, and the Sean O'Malley fight as a win, I don't, but you could, and it was super close. He had the closest fight with O'Malley that anyone's had, which is still super impressive, even if you did think he fell off. Dominic Cruz at 1. I do have Dominic Cruz at 1. That should I mean, some people have other people at 1, but I do have Cruz at 1. TJ Dillashaw at 4. I think Aljo had a more impressive title reign than Dillashaw. And then Henry Cejudo at 5, just because he spent most of his career at Bantamweight. But yeah, Peter Yan at number 2. That's my hot take. Coming in for Featherweight, at 5 we got Ilya Topuria. 4, Conor McGregor. Now you could switch Ilya and Conor. I don't really care what order you put him in. I just put Conor before him. Aldo at 3, hot take. A lot of people think that Aldo's the best featherweight of all time. I don't even think he's the second best featherweight of all time because I think Max Holloway is better. And then obviously I got Volk at number 1. Now the reason I think Max Holloway is better is just because I think Max Holloway would have had a Jose Aldo type of title reign if it wasn't for Volkanovski, because Max was a champion really young, and even right now he's only 32. Max could have still been a champion to this day if it wasn't for Volk. But obviously we're gonna have Volk at 1 because Volk beat Max 3 times. He also beat Aldo, and he also has the most impressive resume in featherweight history, and arguably one of the most impressive resumes of all time. But yeah, like I said, you could switch Ilya and Conor, but yeah, I got Jose Aldo at 3, and I think Max has a better resume than Aldo as well. So I don't even think it's close, to be honest. But yeah, moving in lightweight. Number 5 we got Ben Henderson. Honestly, you could have picked any random lightweight, but I'm gonna give credit to Ben Henderson. He was super good, so it was just this one. And then at 4 you got Dustin. 3, Charles. 2, Habib, and 1, Islam. I know a lot of people have Habib at number 1, but I think Islam's better because I think Islam has as many title wins and title defenses as Habib, but Islam has fought better people and has a better resume. And I think he's also a better all-around fighter. I think Khabib's the slightly better wrestler, but Islam's a way better striker. And Islam does have the better wins. So I got Islam ahead of Khabib for sure. Then after Habib, I got Charles. Beat Dustin, beat Gaethje, super impressive. And then I got Dustin at 4, Ben Henderson at 5. And I put Dustin ahead of Ben Henderson, even though Ben Henderson was a champion, because I think Dustin is in conversation for the best fighter to never win a belt. But yeah, and Dustin's resume is pretty stacked. So moving on to welterweight, coming in at number 1 we got GSP. Shouldn't really be a debate. Coming in at number 2, Kamaru. Now I know some people have Kamaru over GSP, but I don't think that's true at all. Then number 3 we got Matt Hughes. Seems kind of forgotten at times. 4, Tyron Woodley, and then 5, Leon. I know you could put Robbie Lawler here too, but I think Leon has beaten Kamaru twice, and I think that's super impressive. So I got him over Robbie Lawler. But I got Tyron Woodley over because Tyron Woodley did have like 4 defenses, and Leon also has a win over Colby Covington, which is impressive. But yeah, so I got Matt Hughes at 3. Matt Hughes is pretty underrated. He does have a win over GSP, don't forget that. So that's still super impressive, more impressive than Leon and Tyron in my opinion. But honestly, these guys are pretty interchangeable. You could put Tyron ahead of Matt Hughes, but I have Matt Hughes right here. And then I think Kamaru's like a unanimous number 2, and then GSP should be a unanimous number 1. But anyways, moving on to middleweight. Number 1, Anderson Silva. Number 2, Izzy. I know some people have Izzy over Anderson Silva. Izzy did fight better competition, but Anderson Silva dominated that competition more, and he had more accolades. So I put Silva ahead of Izzy. Rob Whittaker at 3. Love putting Rob Whittaker at 3 because Rob Whittaker is one of my favorite fighters. So it was nice giving him some credit. Coming in at 4, we got Chris Weidman, and then at 5, we got Yoel Romero, another candidate for the best fighter to never win a belt. Yoel Romero's super good. Chris Weidman, though, was a champion, and he does have a win over Anderson Silva, so I got him over that. And he did have some title defenses, which is impressive. And Rob Whittaker has one of the best middleweight resumes of all time, probably just behind these 2 guys. So and he was a champion, so. And he has 2 wins over Yoel, so I have Rob Whittaker at number 3. And then I got Izzy at 2. Everyone should have Izzy at number 2 in my opinion. And then Anderson Silva at number 1. Moving on to light heavyweight. As much as I hate to put him here, we got Jones number 1. He's the GOAT. Whatever. I hate Jones, but it is what it is. DC number 2 should be unanimous. Now I do got Alex Pereira at 3. Y'all might be thinking that's kind of crazy, but Alex Pereira has been 3 former light heavyweight champions, and I think he has a really good light heavyweight resume, and I think he would beat both of these geezers, Chuck Liddell and then Tito Ortiz. I really wanted to put Alexander Gustafsson on here because I think he's, again, in title and contention for the best fighter to never win a belt. But these guys were champions, and Tito Ortiz had like the 2nd most title defenses in light heavyweight after John Jones, and Chuck Liddell was super good too, so like a champion. And he had some title defenses as well, so I can't put Alexander Gustafsson, who's never a champion, over these guys. But like honorable mention, shout out to Gustafsson. But last but not least, we got heavyweight. At 5, we got JDS. 4, Kane. 3, DC. 2, Ngannou, and then 1, Stipe. This one was kind of hard to make. I don't know much about heavyweights. Well, I mean, I'm not fucking casual, but like, I guess you could interswitch these guys. I guess I just don't know much about these guys. DC, I know DC only had like a couple of heavyweight fights. He beat Stipe, which is super impressive. And Stipe beat JDS, but JDS also beat Stipe. The heavyweights division is just kind of like all over the place. But I haven't gone to number 2 because even though he was only a champion for a bit and he left the UFC, Ngannou has a super impressive resume at heavyweight. Don't worry, I checked it before this. And obviously everyone should have Stipe at number 1. But yeah, that's gonna be but to be honest, you guys could switch these guys around. So yeah, but yeah guys, that's gonna be my list, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.